I'm Dennis from hipburn.com, and today we're going to be going over some Q&A questions. So we asked you in an email and we asked you on Instagram what questions you wanted answered. So we have a few for you today. So, Dennis, what's the first question?
Yeah, so these are some of the most common questions that we get. So the first question is, what is your go-to healthy snack?
For me, my favorite is just a plain rice cake with almond butter and honey. That's probably my typical go-to.
For me, I would say it's either fruit or plain Greek yogurt, and then I like to add in my own mix-ins like honey and fruit, things like that. Both of these are add in some protein, so you're getting the protein from your almond butter. I'm getting the protein from the yogurt. That's what we always try to focus on in our snacks. Okay, so next question. This is a very common one. How do you curb your afternoon/evening munchies?
That is a good question. I would say if you are having munchies like every single night, if you find yourself really hungry all the time, you're not eating enough during your meals. So you need to be eating bigger breakfast, bigger lunch, bigger dinner if you find that you're really hungry every night in the evening. But if you do want to snack a little bit at night, I pretty much every single night I have a square or two of dark chocolate. That's one of my favorites. And it kind of helps you feel like you're having a dessert, which is always a good thing.
Well, I think that just goes back to what we always talk about: eat when you're hungry until you're satisfied. And I think a lot of people will eat, their lunch. They won't eat until they're satisfied. They'll still be hungry because they're restricting the foods that they're eating. So it's always good to just eat when you're hungry until you're satisfied.
Right, and so protein and veggies is always a fair game go-to for evening snacks. Also, there's the snacks that we talked about earlier with rice cakes and almond butter or Greek yogurt. That's a good option as well.
Yeah. So next question is, how do you beat a plateau? This is obviously something that everyone goes through, whether you're just starting out or have been training for a long time. So how do you beat a plateau? What do you recommend?
So a couple of different things. If you've been doing the same thing for a long time, that can kind of lead to plateaus. And if you've been doing the same thing for a long time and not seeing results, it means you need to switch it up. So what we like to do, and one way that really helps us beat plateaus, is intermittent fasting. And so that's something that we've been doing for a couple of years, and it helps you kind of change things up so it's not the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
And we actually just put together a program called Lean Fast, which teaches some very flexible intermittent fasting approaches and how you can really incorporate it into your daily life. And so that's something that I think has been really helpful.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, like you said, it's like people start doing the same thing over and over and over and never change things up, and that's when they do hit a plateau. So you always have to have that plan in place and be flexible with what you're doing, whether that's your workouts or your nutrition. You have to be able to be willing to change things up as you go along.
And always challenge yourself, especially in your workouts. If you find that you're doing the same thing, if you're lifting weights but lifting the same exact weight every single time, you need to challenge yourself and push yourself to do one more rep or go a little bit higher in your weights. That's really going to help you push past plateaus.
I think another thing going back to workouts is a lot of times people think you have to work out longer. And what we always say is oftentimes you need to cut back on your workouts and bump the intensity up.
Right.
That's another key for pushing past a plateau.
Exactly. Work out more intensely rather than longer.
All right, so this was a question we got from Instagram. Is HIIT enough for results, or is there also steady state green zone cardio needed? And then also they want our option on heart rate monitors.
So we don't personally use heart rate monitors. We found that if we just push ourselves as hard as we can in our workouts, that tends to get us the best results and not have to stress or worry about reaching a certain zone. But what would you say about that, Dan?
So like you said, we're constantly in our HIIT workouts trying to elevate our heart rate as much as possible, and then during our rest periods bringing that back down, and then again bumping it back up. So our heart rate is constantly going like this, even though we're not wearing a heart monitor.
We're getting the benefits of it.
We're getting the benefits of that. If you are someone that likes heart rate training, that's great, but that's not our expertise. We like high intensity interval training, that's what we focus on. But in terms of just the steady state cardio, this is what we always say when it comes to that. If you like doing it, then keep doing it. If you dread doing it, then don't do it. We find that HIIT is more effective, and that's why we go with that.
Exactly.
Next question is, how do you maintain positive thoughts during stressful times?
That is a great question. We got that one from Instagram too, I believe. For me, it is zooming out and seeing the bigger picture, because a lot of times when I feel super stressed, it's about something that is very short term. And so when I take a step back and I think, okay, what is making me feel this way? And then I zoom out a little bit and think, okay, is this going to matter tomorrow? Is this going to matter next week, next year? And it really kind of helps bring some perspective. So just kind of seeing that overall big vision really helps me.
For sure. I think, same thing. Just kind of like stepping back and really thinking like, why am I stressed about this? And just kind of looking at that big picture, like you were just saying.
Yeah, and self-care is huge. Figuring out things that make you feel relaxed and help you feel like better about yourself, and then doing them. Self-care isn't selfish, it's important. So yeah.
Okay, so favorite workout clothing. I'll answer first because I only have one, and that's Lululemon, and I'll let you answer because I'm sure she has plenty.
I have plenty of options for you. But Dennis is he's a minimalist, as we all know, but he's also just very picky. And so Lululemon has been a great fit for him as far as just meeting whatever the needs are there.
Yeah.
For me, I have lots of favorites, but I would say my favorite for yoga, like leggings, is Aloe Yoga. And my favorite store is Carbon 38. So that has tons of different brands that it curates, and I really like all of the brands that they have in there. So that's probably my favorite store.
She shops there a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you recover from a bad food day? This is a question we get all the time, and we actually have just a very simple solution, but go ahead.
So basically what we say is we like to teach balance. So we like to say have a flex day every once in a while, which is what people commonly refer to as a cheat day, but we like to say the word flex because you're just more flexible in what you're doing. You're not cheating on anything. It's not a bad thing to enjoy foods that you love. So if you have a flex day or a day where you feel like you've eaten things that aren't typically on your meal plan, what we say is the next day have a lower carb day. So have a day where you just focus on protein and veggies and healthy fats, and just do that for most of the day.
Yeah, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, if you focus on that for the next day, you're gonna get back on track really quickly, no matter how you've been eating. And that's why even our 7-day plan that we have, that's the plan that we always go to when we're trying to get back on track fast after like a vacation or a trip or even like a long weekend. That's like the easiest way, and that plan starts with the lower carb day, really focused on the right foods, things like that. So
it's really easy. You don't need to punish yourself for enjoying foods that you love. So just have a lower carb day and then get back in your routine.
Yeah. So those are the questions for today.
There we go.
Yeah. So if you have any other questions at all, let us know, and we'd be happy to answer those for you. We like doing these videos, so be sure to post those questions on our Instagram, on our YouTubes, through email, and we'll be sure to put more videos like this together.
Yeah. So make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our daily videos, and we'll see you soon.